We are just 4 days away from the primary election, and the Senate race is getting interesting. A new poll from UC Berkeley shows a statistical tie at the top between Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff and Republican newcomer Steve Garvey. While the polling suggests Schiff would enjoy a strong lead over Garvey in a two-way matchup, Tuesday's expected low turnout is giving the conservative candidate a boost, putting him on track to become one of the general election candidates. Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter is trailing in third. Then there's the issue of housing in San Francisco. Supporters of Prop A say it's a key piece of the puzzle to building thousands of new units. But critics say this is not the answer. Max Darrow heard from both sides.
San Francisco is in need of more housing. It's under a state mandate to build 82,000 units over the next 8 years, more than half of them affordable units. And when it comes to going about getting that done, Mayor London Breed believes Prop A is a key piece of the puzzle.
Proposition A is an extremely important opportunity for us to have more dollars coming into the affordable housing department in order to not only build new, but preservation of existing affordable housing units.
San Francisco resident Larry Marceau doesn't.
This is our plebiscite to say no and push back to the state mandates to build an outrageous amount of new housing.
If voters pass Prop A, the city would be able to borrow up to $300 million to be used for affordable housing by issuing general obligation bonds.
It's not asking for new taxes. It's as we retire old debt, we want to take on a new opportunity to invest in affordable housing, and that's what Proposition A does.
Proponents of Prop A say this will help bring much-needed funding for housing that will benefit first responders, nurses, teachers, and others who make the city run. Marceau calls Prop A bad use of money. He says he's not opposed to general obligation bonds as they play an important role in critical infrastructure. However,
affordable housing, though, is not infrastructure. It's something that we have to build by corralling private sector investment. For San Francisco to build affordable housing, first of all, we need to rebuild the San Francisco economy.
Furthermore, he believes
Proposition A supports this program to dramatically increase San Francisco's density.
Marceau authored the official opposition argument to Prop A in the Voter Information Guide.
This is directly quoting here. Their plan changes the character of every neighborhood, bulldozes the West Side, and brings poverty, drugs, crime, and homelessness to a street corner near you. What do you respond?
I 100% completely disagree with that statement because it's making the assumption that all people who unfortunately live in poverty are somehow associated with crime.
According to 2023 figures, a single earner making $104,000 or less a year is considered low income in San Francisco.
San Francisco is on the hook for another, 46,000 affordable housing units by 2031. Say voters don't pass this.
Well, if voters don't pass this, then we're definitely probably not gonna meet that goal.
Prop A needs to get 2/3 of the vote in order to pass.
Now, supporters of Prop A include the United Educators of San Francisco, the San Francisco Labor Council, Senior and Disability Action, and the SF Bay Area Planning and Urban Research Association. Also in support is the Council of Community Housing Organizations, or CCHO. Coming up, we talk live with them about why they say it's so important and their response to opponents who say this is not the right answer. With California's primary election just 4 days away, we are focusing on a major ballot measure regarding housing in San Francisco. Now, to recap, if voters pass Prop A, the city would be able to borrow up to $300 million to be used for affordable housing by issuing general obligation bonds. San Francisco is under a state mandate to build 82,000 82,000 units over the next 8 years. More than half of them need to be affordable units. Join me now is Charlie Shamus, the policy director for the Council of Community Housing Organizations, or CHOO, as they call it. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
All right, so why is it important for voters to pass this proposition?
You know, housing affordability and our economic recovery is on the hearts and minds of so many of us here in the Bay Area, especially in San Francisco. Too many of us have experienced housing insecurity, are living it now, or are really limited by the housing options that we have. And so that's why Proposition A is so important. Even our policymakers and our legislators have affirmed that as a huge priority in terms of the mandate for the 46,000 new additional units. Most of the housing that has been developed over the last few years has been largely unaffordable to everyday San Franciscans. And what that means is that our local workers, primarily those with the lowest incomes, are unable to afford market rents. It means that the next generation coming up in the city can't imagine a future in their own hometown. And it means our educators aren't able to live in the communities where they teach. And so Prop A is really part of that solution. It's our ability to really make the long-term investments in order to stabilize our local economy and our local workforce, and allow us to get close to achieving our affordable housing goals. There's 3 areas of investments within Prop A. The lion's share will go towards new 100% affordable developments that can serve working San Franciscans of the lowest incomes, as well as low-income elders. There's another portion of the investments that will go towards the city's housing preservation program, and that's a program that can help stabilize housing for tenants that are at risk of displacement in multifamily buildings by converting those properties into long-term permanently affordable homes. And additionally, Prop A will also serve low-income women, particularly those that are experiencing trauma as a result of their experiences with being unhoused. So that is a multifaceted approach through Prop A. And we're building off of the success of the previous affordable housing bond that was passed in 2019, overwhelmingly by over 70% of the voters. And the proof is in the pudding. That actually was able to develop 1,500 new affordable homes, to renovate over 1,000 units of public housing. Those are projects that you see throughout neighborhoods of the city, and those are projects that have been able to leverage additional community development investment. So the Capuso project at the Balboa Park Upper Yard, more than 100 homes for working families, also has affordable childcare, new public spaces next to the BART Plaza. The Plaza Adelante project in the Mission District next to the new Environmental Justice Park, Parque in Chancajal, with ground floor community spaces, all built with union labor. These are important investments that can really sustain our local economy at this time. And Prop A is not actually making any demands on our taxes. It will not raise our rents. The city has a longstanding policy to only issue new general obligation bonds when previous bond debt has been retired. And so Prop A will have no impact on our tax rates at all. So the legislators, the policymakers have really done the hard work of coming together and uniting to create a measure with broad-based support. And really now it's up to making our case to the voters.
Yeah. Well, your opponents say Prop A is not the answer. They say San Francisco is already a very dense city, doesn't need any new housing, any more construction, and that San Francisco needs to look to its own economy before we start building more. What's your response to that?
Well, affordable housing development is actually part of our local economy. It's part of stabilizing our local workforce so that folks are able to afford to live in the communities where they're working. As I said, it's really for the next generation. It's also to make sure that vulnerable elders in our communities are able to live affordably in their hometown. It's really part of creating the San Francisco that is going to serve all of us and allow all of us to be able to live and help to contribute to the local economy.
Charlie Shamus, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck on Tuesday. Now, we did reach out to Prop A opponent Larry Marceau for a one-on-one interview as well, but did not hear back. Well, Well, CBS News Bay Area will have full coverage of the California primary on Tuesday. We'll bring you the results all night long, on air on KPIX.com and streaming on the free CBS News app.